let's cap things off. For the last time of the regular season, we are going to tip nine. For the last time in the season, we're going to tip 9 games. And, ultimately, it is kind of sad, but I'm not too sad about this, just considering how my tips have looked this season. So, might be able to brush things off and get a fresh start there when it comes to the finals.
Actually,
So,
it's some of a bounce back weekend. I was 6 for 9 this
yeah,
last
you
weekend, so
did well.
I didn't do too bad. But I if that West Coast Eagles one would have flipped my right way, I'd have been 7-2. But I
Mm-hmm.
got to give it for all the Frio fans out there that I know. I was really happy to see Frio win that game.
Hey,
They
Frio, I
played
picked
such
you
a good
guys.
game.
Just remember. Just remember. Oh man, but let's get into things, Donnie. Another, oh man, the last 3 Friday games have been unbelievable. So now let's go into this one. And honestly, I'm going to say this, and it's definitely going to bite me in the butt come the end of the round. But this is one of the easiest rounds I've had to tip, to be honest. And especially the first 3 games, I am 100% confident in all three of these decisions, starting with Port Adelaide and the Western Bulldogs. Port Adelaide is going to run through this Western Bulldogs team.
I don't know if they're going to run through them, but I think Port Adelaide has more positive momentum. I think Port is playing much better footy. I think the Western Bulldogs, there's something is just not right with them right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know if the injuries are starting to catch up with them, if their form is just not right. I don't know what it is, but I love the way Port is playing right now. Alir has become just an absolute, just a monster in the back. It's so hard to get it by him. And I don't know if the Western Bulldogs have somebody that can take him out of the game, which I think is an absolute disaster because that makes the doggies' day that much harder trying to get by this Port team if
Mm-hmm.
they can't find somebody to take Alir out of the game.
Next one, we have Richmond and Hawthorn. And technically, Richmond is still in decent contention for the 8 spot. But the Hawthorn Hawks are going to put the nail in the coffin on this Richmond dynasty, effectively. They're going to miss the finals. They're going to get full off season. And the Hawthorn Hawks are going to end the season on one hell of a run.
And I thought I was crazy with 5 rounds ago when we did our prediction ladder. When I put in my prediction ladder, I thought Hawthorn would beat Richmond at the end of the year. I thought I was going out on a limb there. I really did. And we get to this season, we get to this round, and it's looking like probably one of the easiest tips of this round because Hawthorn's playing well, Richmond is not. I will also tip Hawthorn as well in this game.
Sydney Swans and the Gold Coast Suns, given the recent form of either team, especially the Suns' track record, which they started to dispel early on the later half of the season, then they went right back into form. I'm taking the Sydney Swans, and they might be able to get to number 5 as well. Maybe number 4, probably not, but 5 is in the reach.
I talked to a friend of mine earlier this week, and I said that I almost kind of like Gold Coast the last game of the year because this is one of Sydney's horror losses that I think they could get off their minds by getting a horrible loss early in the season that they can get off their minds with a big win here. They're playing better footy again. Lance Franklin has a rest week. It sounds like Mills and Lloyd should be back. I think this could potentially be an absolute pasting if they wanted to. Gold Coast is tricky, so I'm not going to sit here and guarantee a big win. But I think this leaves the possibility for Sydney to get a nice momentum building, percentage boosting win going into the finals.
Exactly there. Now, the next game on the docket is going to be the Brisbane Lions and the West Coast Eagles. And shoot, the Lions might win this one by 40, 50, or 60 if the Eagles aren't able to come out hot.
Oh boy, this is a game that if Brisbane would not have won the way they did against Collingwood, I'd be really leery of this game because
Way different tipping, right? Way different.
exactly. And if West Coast would have won, if both games would have flipped the other
I
way,
might pick West
this
Coast.
tip would have been much more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tip the Brisbane Lions in this one, but I just have this weird gut feeling. Don't sleep on the West Coast. Yes, they haven't traveled well, but they've been taking a kicking the last few rounds. And Brisbane, I think, is kind of sitting in a situation where they're not it's not going to be easy for them to jump up into fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm worried if they try to go for the big win, it might actually backfire on them. So keep an eye out. I'm going to tip Brisbane, but I just have this weird feeling that this is a potential upset here with the Eagles knocking off the Lions here.
Mm. Now, the next game could very well determine the top team in the regular season and in the league going to finals. The Geelong Cats and the Melbourne Demons. I got the Cats in this one. I think their form has been a lot better recently than the Melbourne Demons, and also, I mean, having Jeremy Cameron back is going to do wonders for them in this game. And then one thing that might come into play though is Geelong and Port are going to have to worry about their score depending on who wants to get that number one spot. I think it both comes down to percentage points, and it's kind of like what you said a few runs ago now, Donnie. Maybe Geelong's okay with winning a bit of a closer game in this one, letting Port Adelaide run through the Western Bulldogs.
This is going to be an interesting game because Melbourne defensively is one of the best,
Mm-hmm.
and Geelong is one of the best. This could be one of those. I think goal accuracy is really going to determine who wins this game, because both teams are going to have some dangerous forward lines. You got Brown, you've got McDonald, you've got Pickett, you've got Fritsch on Melbourne side. On Geelong side, you've got Hawkins, you've got Cameron, you've got oh my gosh, actually I don't think Myers is still out. I think Gary Rowan still may be out, but Dangerfield can move up forward. So each team is going to have they're going to have some headaches. But the biggest question will be is where's the winner? I think Reece Stanley can bother Max Gawn enough to neutralize that. I think the experience of Geelong's midfield, I think, is going to get them a few more wins. I think Geelong just does enough. I think this is going to be the game of the round because that skinny long ground is going to be absolutely fantastic to see both these intercepting defenders go after it, and seeing Cameron versus Lever, seeing May versus Hawkins again is going to be fascinating. I think Geelong just nips them, but I think this is under a goal. I think this is a four. This could be a goal after the siren type of game.
And the next game we got, oh man, Gloucester Sign would be fantastic. The next game I'm super worried about, especially as a Giants fans, this would be such a GW's thing to blow this one. I'm going to tip for them. I'm going to tip against Carlton. They should be able to win this game like they have been the last couple teams. They've been beaten up, but it would not surprise me if they blow this one.
I'm tipping GWS, but Carlton, Eddie retiring. This could be an interesting trap game for GWS. Do they take the Blues lightly? I don't think they will. I think Leon Cameron knows he needs to win this game to guarantee himself a spot in the finals. I think they come out and they win this one. But this is another one like the Brisbane West Coast Eagles game that if anything is off for GWS, it could be a disaster.
Yeah, yeah, it could be. Now we get the St. Kilda Saints and the Fremantle Dockers, and if the Dockers want any chance of making the finals, they have to hope for probably Essendon slip up and the win here. And I do like Fremantle getting the win here against St. Kilda.
Oh, Frio fans are gonna hate me on this one. I
Oh, don't do
the,
it.
the, their traveling bothers me. The fact that they get Brayshaw back, and I've said it numerous times. When you come off a big win and you get a ton of momentum, sometimes you come out flat. And I think the Saints, they gonna relish the spoiler role? Are they gonna
Mm.
relish the chance to knock out Frio and make sure Frio has the same fate that they do, and that's no finals? And the game is in Victoria, and for some weird reason, these Western Australian teams have not traveled to Victoria. Well, I'm gonna tip the Saints on this one, but my heart is with Frio. I do want to see Frio win it. I'm gonna tip the Saints with my head, but my heart is gonna be I'm gonna be supporting Frio in this game.
And the next game is going to be a fun rivalry between Essendon and Collingwood. Rivalry meaning this game may very well be a lot closer than it needs to be, but still ultimately like Essendon as the winner here.
Oh, Essendon, this is a way to put yourselves to cement yourself in the finals, get a win over Collingwood. I think they're going to relish it. Collingwood's beat up back line that is not at full strength. I think Essendon could have a field day in this game, especially the way Brisbane had a field day with Collingwood. I think Essendon wins this and guarantees them spot in the finals. I have the Bombers.
And the last game of the regular season is one that, oh man, it may be very forgettable or it could be very good. I
Talk
don't
about
know.
anticlimactic, huh?
Right? Man, you should put Eston on last, damn it. But the Adelaide Crows and the North Melbourne Roos, two games with literally nothing but draft pick positioning on the line here. I'll tip
And
North
not
Melbourne
even that,
Roos.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll tip North Melbourne here, and maybe it's for everyone's gonna have their blood pressure super high through the rest of this. So maybe this is a nice game to sit down and relax to a bit.
Oh, this is one that who's the true wooden spooner of the season, because I don't think the points are an accurate announcement of who the actual wooden spooner is. I have North on this one too. I think North is playing much better footy. This drags the wooden spoon down to only 2 points, being having 2 points less than Adelaide. I think North is playing much better footy. I think they're stronger, better team. I think they're not going to be in wooden spoon contention next year. But this is such an anticlimactic one because it really doesn't matter who wins this, because North's finishing 18th. Adelaide can finish 16th if they knock off the Roos and Collingwood loses. So Adelaide can jump to the third overall pick from the second, but I don't know. There's talk that they want to make sure they may still have a chance for the South Australian kid in the draft. So we'll have to see how Adelaide approaches that. For integrity reasons, I hope they don't, but we'll have to see. But I have the Roos winning this final game of the season, sending us into the finals on a kind of a lackluster 18th versus 17th matchup in the last game of the year.
Right.